Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Favorite 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Chilio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
T to the B. Welcoming you back. I'm going to bow thy head. I want to remind you, we're live at Calhoun's on the River Friday. We're there every football game day. It's going to be unbelievable, Andy. Come out and celebrate the football weekend with us. It's going to be an amazing time. In the next couple days, we're going to have Kevin Skarbinski on the program tomorrow. Dale Jones is going to come by. He's looking at the film. He's going to start doing a film study for us and his observations on what we're about to see. So get ready for that throughout the entire football season. In the meantime, on the radio side, the great William Pattison's going to join you with the Playbook. You're going to meet and greet him during Oklahoma week. We've got a huge setup out there, a huge announcement coming. We're going to do an all-day setup. Stake our claim! Stake our claim, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the Playbook with William Pattison as we continue to talk about
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
And here we go, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It's the Playbook, presented by VIP Play. With Brett Hullander, Garrett Armbrust, and Jackson Freeman, I'm William Pattison. We appreciate you listening along with us on this Wednesday afternoon from K-Town. Plenty to cover over the next 2 hours, including going inside the matchup of Tennessee and Alabama. We'll look at the Tide's offense and defensive units and provide the numbers that you need to know in anticipation for Saturday's matchup in Tuscaloosa. A little bit later on, we'll also have our Best Bets Look Ahead presented by VIP Play. A lot of big-time matchups this weekend. A lot of ranked versus ranked games. We'll tell you the sides we're currently leaning at the moment and as things currently stand. I've got a lot of sides this week. Could be my biggest card of the week, of the season. So we'll talk about that. We'll also have our college football contending questions, as we always do on Wednesday, getting a firm grasp of some of the big storylines as we bridge over from week 7 of college football into week 8. And then we'll also talk a little NFL draft because we have some Vols on the NFL draft board, according to Mel Kiper, 4 of them for that matter. And we'll talk about how one player might be one of the biggest surprises of the college football season. And we'll also try to decipher who has the higher upside between a notable wide receiver and defensive end. So plenty to cover on this Wednesday edition of the Playbook. So happy you're here. We'll welcome in the rest of the crew before we get things kicked off, beginning with Brett. Brett, how are you on this Wednesday?
Doing good. Been watching a little preseason NBA. Luka made his debut last night. Big Lakers guy over here. So
Yeah.
he's a nice 25 and 22 minutes last night. I mean, he looks in shape, ready to go. So he's going to have to get off to a good start with Braun being out first few weeks of the season. And he's going to have to carry the load because the West is loaded and can't fall behind. Going to have to beat his best. So I like what I'm seeing from Ayton as well. So, yeah, watch a little preseason. I wasn't watching Butch Jones. I know Garrett. I'll leave that to Garrett and what he does over there. But, yeah, I was locked into some NBA action. They're less than a week away from tipping off.
Yeah, I had the tripod going last night. The tri-box on the YouTube TV. I had Arkansas State, South Alabama, FIU. How about FIU going into Western Kentucky? That's a good Western Kentucky team, I thought. McIver struggled. But I was watching that one too, and then New Mexico Liberty was down to the wire. That was a fun one. Garrett,
locked in.
Yeah, Garrett, I know you had your eyes on it. How was your night, and how are you on this Wednesday?
Yeah, you can't complain about some Tuesday night Conference USA. The Sun Belt game was ugly. I think they had 25 penalties for like 219 penalty yards.
That's crazy.
South Alabama drove down the field and was about to kick a field goal to ice the game, and they missed a 28-yarder. It was not blocked. They just missed it. And then Arkansas State went down the field and won the game. But, yeah, Butch Jones had some interesting coaching decisions in that game. But, no, it's a good day outside. Excited for the game this weekend and ready to get over to Tuscaloosa on Friday.
Yeah, that'll be fun. A big-time matchup this weekend in T-Town, and a lot of you guys traveling for it. Jackson, are you going this weekend, or are you staying here for it?
I'm not. I will actually be going home to dog sit so my parents can go to the game.
Oh,
wow.
Oh man. Well, that's tough. Well, hopefully they're giving you some coin for that.
No, it's
just out of the kindness of your heart.
Yeah, well, my roommate was going to have this guy. So my roommate actually was a former Ole Miss student as well. We transferred here together. And one of the guys he was friends with that I just can't stand was supposed to come up to Knoxville this weekend. So I was looking a way to get out of my apartment. So I agreed to do that. But now the guy's not coming. And I can't really tell my parents, hey, sorry, I'm not going to do this anymore. So, but I'm not really complaining. I mean, gets me out of the apartment back home for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you're a trooper for that. I'm sure your parents will be very thankful for taking one for the team. And real quick, we'll check the YouTube chat. We've already got some people talking about Botch Jones. That was one of the worst football games I've ever seen. Right up Botch Jones' alley. That was gross. But hey, Arkansas State got the win. A game-winning field goal. It got carried off the field.
Wow.
Back-to-back wins on 2-minute
the kicker did. The kicker did.
Golly.
The kicker did for beating 1-5 South Alabama. Or 1-6 South Alabama, I believe. But, yeah.
So did they lose the game? So they won the game because they got – is that what you said? South Alabama
Well, no, South Alabama was up by 2, and they were going to kick a field goal to go up by 5. They missed it, and then Arkansas State drove down the field and kicked like a 40-yarder to win.
Okay, I misheard then. Okay, gotcha.
Just a gutsy drive from the Wolfpack. Late in the game on prime time.
Packed house, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, tonight we've got Delaware and Jacksonville State on ESPN. I'll be tuned in.
Even know that off the top of your head.
All right, let's go inside the matchup as the third Saturday in October returns under the lights as number 11 Tennessee hits the road to face number 6 Alabama at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time Saturday in Bryant-Denny Stadium. The 108th meeting between the storied rivals will air on ABC with SEC Nation and Marty and McGee on site in Tuscaloosa. Both programs enter the matchup at 5-1, with Alabama tied atop the SEC standings at 3-0 and Tennessee sitting at just 2-1. The Vols have won 2 of the past 3 meetings in the series and are one of just 2 programs nationally, along with Michigan, with multiple victories over the Crimson Tide since the start of the 2022 season. And everyone, happy 3 years ago today. 3 years ago today, Tennessee knocked off Alabama and broke the streak, the 15-game streak. And Chase McGrath's wobbly field goal went to the uprights that then later ended up in the Tennessee River. So happy 3 years ago to that really awesome moment. But obviously we cannot reminisce on the past when you're going up against this Alabama team that has totally turned things around since that loss to Florida State in week 1, when we thought that Kalen DeBoer's time was ticking. Now Alabama's a well-oiled machine, and they have been really solid, though not elite in most offensive categories this season. They ranked 6th in the conference by averaging 34.8 points per game, and they're 5th in the conference with a 50% third down conversion rate. The two areas Alabama has most excelled offensively is its passing game and red zone offense. Quarterback Ty Simpson has been really solid, helping Alabama rank 15th nationally and 3rd in the SEC with 304 passing yards per game. And in the red zone, look at these numbers, folks. Alabama has scored on 27 of 28 trips, including touchdowns on 20 of them. And they've been efficient in taking advantage of those opportunities once they march down the field. And we'll begin with what do we make of Ty Simpson after that loss to Florida State, because this summer I was not a Ty Simpson believer. I said this is a guy that has been here for 4 years and has had opportunities to start before, and I just didn't see it with him. And I really didn't see it against Florida State, where he looked a little bit over his skis, completed just above 20% of his passes, or excuse me, just above 50% of his passes, I should say.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah.
Golly.
Just above 50% of his passes. And then there were a couple of plays, too, that I just thought he made the wrong decision. One of them was on a 4th and 7. Instead of just taking it with his legs and picking up the first down when he had plenty of green grass in front of him, he decided to toss it to Ryan Williams that ended up in the dirt. Examples of that, I just thought this was not going to work out. He was going to be the player that I expected. However, like Alabama, Ty Simpson has turned things around, and that is a big reason why this team is where they are right now. And I think with him, their ability as an offense to sit on the football, control the time of possession, really helps him out, because they're not playing that high tempo, and he's not having to make his quick decisions. So he's able to dissect the defense, get some good pre-snap reads, and makes the right decision. And as a quarterback and as a coach for Ryan Grubb, that's all you can ask from your quarterback, that he makes the right decisions and doesn't turn the football over. And that's why Alabama's continue to win these games, because they're not the one making the mistakes. And a big part of that is because Ty Simpson is not making them. So I don't think he is a dazzler or a guy that is going to, wow you in his athleticism and stuff like that. But he does throw a pretty good football, and he's exemplified that throughout the last couple of games. That one he had to Ryan Williams to open up the game against Georgia, even though Williams dropped it, was an absolute beauty and just shows off the arm talent that Simpson holds. So I think he's gotten more comfortable. I think he's gotten a better grasp of this offense and is playing the way they need him to. Take care of the football. Let's sit on the ball, and let's dominate the time and possession. That's what the Tide have done, and it's been successful. Garrett, what have you made of Ty Simpson since that opener against Florida State?
Yeah, no, I mean, you kind of hit it. I mean, he's been extremely effective since the first game. Obviously, the first half against FSU, you saw him play decent, and then the second half, kind of, the rail went off. But he's been really good since then. 16 touchdowns this season, only 1 interception, as you alluded to. Takes care of the football very well, as you would expect a 22-year-old quarterback to do. And he's played really good over the past 2 weeks. Threw for 340 yards against Vanderbilt, 2 touchdowns, and then last week against Missouri, threw for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. So, he kind of managed the game a little bit more in that. He has been sacked 8 times over the past 2 weeks. So that's something that you look for the Tennessee defensive line to be able to eat on. But, again, also in the Georgia game, I mean, you saw him be effective, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, threw for 276 yards. And if Ryan Williams catches that, that's, another 50-plus yard play. So he's been really good since the Florida State game. And, I mean, you would expect much of the same this weekend.
Brett, you were kind of in the same boat with me this offseason. You weren't a big believer of Ty Simpson, but now over the last couple of weeks, he's kind of spurring things around. What do you make of him?
Yeah, I remember our guy Chase. Yeah, we laughed at him.
Yeah, I know.
He's had him win national championships. He's got him winning Heisman. Ty Simpson, and after week 1, it was looking that way. I mean, you go back and look at that Florida State game. He played decently well. I mean, that first drive they had was like 9-minute drive, touchdown on the board. It was almost more about Bama as a team than it was Ty. I mean, just the way they got beat up physically. He played mistake-free football, and that's what he's been doing all season. It's been just real consistent, great on third down, great in the red zone. And, I'm as shocked as anybody to see that. After seeing him a couple appearances last year for Milrow, or, you're like, man, Bama's got nothing this year. And, and considering they have no run game to speak of really without Jam Miller, for him to be playing as well, Ryan Williams isn't playing that great. I mean, makes it even more surprising he's doing what he's doing. And, maybe we owe DeBoer a little bit of credit too. We were laughing at him after that game too. So the turnaround's been pretty remarkable to say the least. And we're going to have our hands full with Ty on Saturday.
Yeah, most definitely. Jackson, you're pretty particular with what you like out of your quarterbacks. What have you seen from Ty and his growth since that first outing to heading into this weekend against Tennessee?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that stands out to me is just he's limiting the mistakes. Like Garrett said, only one interception. I'd have to double check, but I don't think he's lost a fumble either this year. Just really, it could have been really easy for him to, after that Florida State game, to just go out and be reckless with the ball, say, all right, we need to win games. We need better offense. And he hasn't done that. He's been really particular with his throws, making the right reads. And that's something that Tennessee's going to have to change this weekend.
Yeah, most definitely. And it starts with the amount of pressure you get on them. But a possible way to do that is making this team one-dimensional. And Alabama is averaging just 126.5 rushing yards per game this season, a mark that ranks 11th in the SEC and 101st nationally. Kind of a far cry from one of those, a lot of those Alabama teams we know of the past that had bell cow running backs that could just run it down your throat. And of note, star running back Jam Miller could miss the game due to injury. Right before we came on, Kalen DeBoer has listed him as questionable, and he'll be most likely questionable on tonight's SEC injury report. But he's a big piece of the puzzle as Alabama tries to get that running game back into that Alabama mode. And it was absent in that loss to Florida State in week 1. If that's something that is apparent once again on Saturday up against a defensive line for Tennessee that has a lot of talent and is well coached, that could force Alabama to be one-dimensional. And I think that's an early recipe for success for the Volunteers in this one. Obviously, Alabama's had a ton of success throwing the football to Isaiah Horton and Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams. And as we just talked about, Ty Simpson been a much improved quarterback. But if you eliminate the run game, then you can start getting into some defensive sets that are more pass-friendly that make it more difficult for Alabama to get those chunk plays down the field and to win those one-on-one matchups. Now, we talked yesterday, do you go zone? Do you go man? Do you blitz with them and force those one-on-one matchups as Jeremy Bernard refers to the field of dreams? Or do you try to switch things up and go more zone and even try to just win that way? But we haven't seen a ton of success with that either. So, there's a lot of different ways you could approach Saturday's matchup. But I think one thing for certain, if you can take something out of the game for Alabama, you're finding an early advantage. And I think that would be taking out this run game that is yet to really produce at a high level. So I feel like, for a Tennessee team that's kind of scraping and looking for things to have an advantage at this weekend defensively, stopping that run game would be a great start. Garrett, would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, especially when Tennessee's defense, the run defense has been one of the weak points throughout the season. I mean, we saw what Washington did, last week. The Arkansas running back, he went for a good amount of yardage after kind of calling out the Tennessee defense before the week. And obviously, if Jam Miller's not able to go, or it definitely won't be at 100% as he hasn't been all of this season. I mean, Richard Young and Daniel Hill, their RB2 and RB3, haven't been very effective this season, both less than 100 rushing yards. But then, as you mentioned, I mean, they have a very good wide receiver room with Ryan Williams, Isaiah Horton, and Jeremy Bernard. So you just have to figure out what matchups you like there and how you're going to make it one-dimensional. Because I think if you take the running game out of what they can do, I think if they have to pass the ball into tighter windows and your corners can play good football, there's a chance that you can get off the field a lot.
Yeah, Brett, making Alabama one-dimensional by taking out that run game. What do you make of that?
I'd rather make him one-dimensional, make him run the ball, but that's going to be hard to do. We haven't proven we can stop anybody on the run, so so it's going to be hard for me to say we're going to be able to stop the run if we're going to play a lot of zone. When we did drop in zone, I feel like that opens up larger holes for us to try and do, and our tackling out of zone is not great. They're getting the second level and, quite a bit. And but, I mean, if you can, maybe you that helps because your pass rushers can get after him. But again, we're not getting off the field in 3rd and long either when we have stopped the run. So it's, I mean, I guess you hope to, I guess, is your best case. But Alabama's winning without much of a run game to speak of for the most part this season. So I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing to have Ty Simpson throwing it on this defense.
Yeah, would you agree with that, Jackson?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to whether or not Jam Miller plays. Both their backup running backs, Kevin Riley and Daniel Hill, haven't really shown me anything in the terms of running the ball, receiving the handoff in the backfield. They've schemed up quite a few like dump-off passes for them, and they've been able to work that way. But without Jam Miller, I know Tennessee has a terrible run defense, but it's a lot harder for me to imagine Bama just punching the ball down our throat without Jam Miller.
Yeah. Well, Alabama does a really good job as well of playing keep away. Its offense isn't always that explosive, but they put together long drives and rank 7th nationally in time of possession. And as we heard from Josh Heupel on Monday, he talked about causing turnovers is going to be a big key on Saturday. And is that a good thing that he's saying that? Well, you could take it with however you want, but basically what he's saying is we've done a really good job forcing teams to turn the ball over, but I also don't have the confidence that we're going to win these one-on-one matchups, so we're going to have to get turnovers to get extra possessions, is what I read from that as well. So I feel like Tennessee will be able to force turnovers. They're going to have the opportunity to, because they've done it all season. This is kind of the DNA of this team. You had a scoop and score and a pick 6 against Mississippi State. You had a couple of turnovers last week, 3 forced fumbles, 4 forced fumbles, 3 recovered against Arkansas. You have had a high volume of turnovers throughout SEC play. So it's not like you're just doing this against a UAB and insignificant opponents. You've done this against quality SEC teams. Alabama has been very disciplined in that factor in terms of not turning it over, but I believe Tennessee will have the opportunities. But I feel like if Tennessee becomes solely reliant on that and they're not able to, Alabama's going to sit on this football for a while. And that's why I think it's important for the offense to try and mirror that. We'll talk more about that here after this segment, but I think that it's important to try to get that one up in the amount of possessions, because Alabama's going to try and sit on it. They're going to try to have these long methodical drives. That is going to tire your defense out, and to get them off the field, you've got to make a couple of splash plays. So if Jam Miller doesn't play and they've got those 2, backup running backs going, try to rip the ball out on them. They don't have the same type of experience as a Jam Miller. You've got a couple of these wide receivers coming across the middle. Don't be afraid to lay the hit. Don't be afraid to get involved and make a big-time play there. Because I don't think Simpson's necessarily just going to throw a bad ball right to a Tennessee defender. I think you're going to have to kind of work out a strip or a fumble in this situation. And maybe Tennessee's defensive line is able to get in the backfield, get a blindside hit like you saw against Blake Shapen, or kind of a from-behind tackle you saw with Taylon Green that he fumbled. You're going to have to create one of those plays. But you cannot allow Alabama to sit on the football and then double you up in possessions. And I feel like the only way for Tennessee to avoid that is getting turnovers. Turnovers has to be a big key Saturday, Garrett.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing I said against Georgia. I think, the only way you win this game is if you win the turnover margin. I think if they win the turnover margin, I guess if it's 0-0, you have a chance. But, if they win the turnover margin, you're not going to win the game. You have to do it. You probably have to force 2-3 turnovers in this game, realistically, if you do want to win. Like as you said, when they have these 8-minute, 9-minute drives, and then you have a fast-paced offense like ours that goes out and has these 3-4-minute drives, you have to find a way to get your defense off the field quickly, because you can't have your defense out there for 40 minutes during the game and expect to compete, because there's just too much, even with rotations and substitutions, you just can't expect your defense to play that many minutes effectively in an SEC game on the road.
Yeah. Brett, what about the turnovers for you?
It's going to be tough. I think they have 2 total turnovers on the season, 1 interception, 1 fumble loss. So they take care of the ball, that's for sure. if you do get the turnovers, what do you do with it? We have turned people over, but we haven't really converted. We get 7 points out of the 3 turnovers against Arkansas, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was 10. We went,
and against Georgia, you had the big one. You were very conservative off it. It's more about if you do force the turnovers, because turnovers are only good. It's what you do after the turnover.
Yeah.
You can get them, which loses possession, but if the score doesn't change off those turnovers, then what have you really done?
Yeah.
So whether we make them turn over is one thing, but when you do turn them over, or if you do, what do you do to capitalize off that?
Yeah.
And things like that. So, that's kind of where I am with this whole turnover thing. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, the Volunteers defense has allowed 257.8 passing yards per game, which gives the Vols one of the nation's worst pass defenses through 6 games this fall. Turnovers are going to have to be a big factor for the Volunteers to try to avoid having that passing defense become the reason why the Vols walk out of Bryant-Denny Stadium with another loss. When we come back, however, we've done a lot of talk early in this week about Tennessee's defense. Let's switch over to the Tennessee offense and talk about the matchup against Alabama's defense. We'll do that when we return right here on the Playbook, presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
For the fans, by the fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
The number one problem we see at our clinic is delaying treatment. ED can get worse.
Book your appointment right now. Call 865-544-8220. Prefer privacy? Book online in under 30 seconds at menspronaknoxville.com.
At our clinics, men's sexual health is the whole job. Look, I'm a normal guy too. I hate going to the doctor, but we've helped so many guys in here just like you. Even if pills have failed, our medical team is going to take the time to talk you through it. Same day in-house lab, and the treatments, well, they could change your life.
Your local medical team has your back. ED, performance, Peyronie's, size and shape modeling. We tailor what works for you.
I'll get to the point. Can you imagine epic performance and epic sex? Yeah, I said it.
A stronger you is closer than you think. We're available right now. Call 865-544-8220 or book in 30 seconds or less at menspronaknoxville.com. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your home exterior needs. If your home needs new siding, windows, doors, gutters, handrails, a deck, or a new roof, then give my friends at North Knox Siding and Windows a call at 865-689-0505. You can also visit their showroom at 5618 North Broadway. Locally owned and operated and proudly serving all of Knoxville and the surrounding areas, North Knox Siding and Windows. Online at northknoxsidingandwindows.com.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced. Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad, and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service, 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit matlocktireservice.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
And by the time she wakes, I'll be halfway to my mama's home.
All right, back here on the Playbook, presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you listening along with us. However you're listening or watching, we do appreciate your time. Checking the YouTube chat real quick, I should say. Buck says, chip the receivers at the line, stuff the run, and dare the quarterback to beat you. You had this as a loss anyhow. So I guess he's talking about defensively for Tennessee, trying to get up in their grill as soon as the ball is snapped. But I will say on the exterior, they've got the type of wide receivers that can, maneuver off and go far down the field. But maybe that pressure, we'll get to Ty Simpson. We got one more from Charles Webb. He says, Tennessee 40, Bama 30. No excuses for Josh Heupel. Win on the damn road is what Charles says. So, that would be big. A 10-point win, you put up 40 points. Something hadn't been done since 2003.
Yeah.
Tennessee hadn't beaten Alabama since 2003 in T-Town. But, hey, I like the confidence from Charles right there. All right, folks, let's focus now on the Alabama defense up against this Tennessee offense defensively. Alabama has one of the best secondaries in the country. They're allowing just 136.5 passing yards per game this season, a mark that ranks third nationally. And two things are true here. Alabama has the best pass defense that Tennessee faced this season, and Tennessee has the best passing attack that Alabama has faced this season. So which one will win in this type of matchup? Let's begin with Joey Aguilar. Do you guys have the confidence that Joey Aguilar will be able to deliver the ball effectively against this defense? And here's my thing with Joey. I think so far from what you've seen in the opener, in his first SEC game, and in his first SEC road game, he's been the same player. And those are three different type of situations, right? This is going to be the primetime game on the road. That's going to be kind of that's the highest echelon you can go in the regular season in terms of what's at stake and the type of environment. But the opener was a neutral site field against a Power 4 team in your debut. I thought he handled that really well. Georgia was the all-eyes game inside your own stadium. That was the primetime one in your stadium. I thought he handled that well. Mississippi State, that was the road test. I thought he handled that well. I have to believe that against Alabama in a primetime spot, that he's going to be the same type of player we've already seen in three different type of instances throughout the season. So I think he will be able to deliver the ball effectively. And after a little bit of a quiet performance against Arkansas, I'm sure he's, ready to kind of let that arm loose a little bit. And maybe there were some things that Tennessee kind of held back on Saturday against the Razorbacks to be able to reveal this weekend against Alabama. I still feel like there are a couple of plays we've yet to see this season that have been pocketed for a matchup like this, where you've got to throw the kitchen sink and what's at stake here. The intensity on the coaches' faces this week. You saw Heupel with it on Saturday. On Monday when answering questions. Kind of a little bit snappy. Guys know what's at stake, and I think Joey does as well, and I expect that he'll be able to deliver the ball effectively no matter really what the defense looks like these days, because he's shown me already that he can have success in a lot of different similar situations. Garrett, I'll swing it to you. This Alabama defense has good numbers, but so does Tennessee. What do you make of Joey Aguilar in a matchup like this in prime time?
Yeah, but he's rose to the occasion, as you said, and everything that you've expected him to in SEC play. And after what happened last weekend, not really having any of the, deep explosive passing plays that he's had throughout the season, that he's hungry to do that this week. And as you said, Alabama has a very good secondary with guys like Bray Hubbard and, Keon Sabb. And then he's going to have guys like LT Overton on the defensive line that are going to be getting up in his face. So, this is going to be like the Georgia game, except more difficult. I think their secondary is better than the Georgia secondary. I think their defense is better than the Georgia defense. But at the same time, you have to trust that you have 3 very good receivers that you trust that you can throw the ball to. You have a tight end in Miles Kitselman that you have trust with. And then you have a run game that they don't have that you're able to use with 3 backs that you can bounce around and rotate in and whatnot. And that opens up the passing game. So I think Tennessee's going to score points. It's just going to come down to the fact, are they going to be able to score more points than Alabama? And, Joey's going to have to continue to play error-free football. He's not going to be able to throw interceptions. He's not going to be able to turn the ball over and fumble the ball. He's not going to be able to make any stupid plays, throw the ball out of bounds if there's nothing downfield, and just continue to play mistake-free football. And I think you're going to be in it in the fourth quarter if you can do that.
Brett, what do you anticipate from Joey in this matchup on the road?
I expect him to be good. I think in each game you've gotten off to a good start, whether home or away. I think you've put up points on each opening drive, so you've come out with a good game plan for Joey, and whether it's getting Kitselman involved or hitting some shots. I think the key to the game to help Joey is the run game. I think that's where Alabama's weak. Maybe you can get some, where they have to bring people in the box. You get some 1-on-1s out there, make easy throws. They're going to try and play man up, I would think, as best they can. So maybe there's just some shots he can, free shots with Brazil and things like that, who made plays for you. So I think he's going to have a pretty good game. Last time he was on the road, he did have the 2 turnovers, so you don't really like that. So he's just got to play mistake-free football. He's got to keep the offense on the field. Third down's been a struggle for him a little bit. So I expect him to have a good game, but I think this could be as tough as assignment to date, with this Alabama defense.
Jackson, what about you in terms of Joey in this matchup against the Tide?
Yeah, I think he's going to pick up right where he's left off in games where they weren't kind of just going with the flow of the game. And I think that's what last week was. They were doing Arkansas was doing a good job covering Brazel and Matthews, and, the run game was working. So why not just stick with it? And like you said, not put some plays on display ahead of arguably the biggest game of the season. But I do think it'll come down to how well Tennessee can run the ball.
Sure. To
open up the pass game. Ahead of last week's game, the narrative around Bama's defense was that they couldn't stop the run to save their lives. And then they come out and hold Ahmad Hardy to 54 yards. So it'll be interesting to see if that was just the juice of the narrative finally getting into that locker room, or if it's Bama's defense has made a turn.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, run defense for the Crimson Tide. It's a little bit of an inverse of their pass defense. They've ranked 13th in the SEC and 90th nationally by allowing 157 rushing yards per game, but they've also played heavy rush teams in Florida State and Missouri and Vanderbilt, which skews those numbers just a bit, but Florida State particularly does because the Seminoles picked up 230 yards on the ground in that blowout loss, and obviously this has been a different team since then, and Ahmad Hardy, one of the nation's best, had a tough outing on Saturday up against this group, so maybe those numbers are not reflective of this current team, but perhaps Alabama's biggest strength this season has been its ability to win the turnover battle, and the Crimson Tide are +9 in turnover margin this season with 11 turnovers forced and just 2 offensive turnovers. And that's a mark that ranks second nationally. So 2 things here. We talk about how Alabama likes to sit on the football. They like to have these long, methodical drives, right? They're not a team that turns the ball over very often. They do a good job turning over teams with 11 turnovers forced. Tennessee has had a strong run game so far this season. I think you've seen really strong moments, especially on Saturday with Deshaun Bishop coming off a career-high performance for him. Do you try to run the ball? Do you try to sit on the football like Alabama and limit the amount of turnovers that are possible? Do you try to play their game almost and do it that way? Because it's going to be very important for Tennessee to take care of the football. And in these last couple of SEC matchups, you've had multiple turnovers. I guess against Mississippi State, you had multiple turnovers on pass plays. You were playing a little bit more high tempo in that situation. You had multiple turnovers against Georgia. Arkansas, their defense was not that good, and you weren't able to have much of a troubling time getting by them, at least offensively. But Alabama has got the personnel like a Georgia does, and you had two turnovers in that one. So I think it's very important to take care of the football, especially when Alabama's so good on that side. But on the same coin, I wouldn't mind kind of sitting on the football a little bit and trying to play Alabama's game and run the ball and find success with Payne Lewis and Star Thomas and Deshaun Bishop. I think that could be an interesting way to approach this one. Or do you guys say, no, let's keep it up with the passing game that's been so successful. Let's test this really good pass defense. This is the best group that they're going to see to this point. Which side are you on? Do you think Tennessee should try to maybe kind of play Alabama's way, sit on the football with the run game, or should they continue what they've done so far in SEC play by letting it air out? Garrett, where do you stand?
I see the arguments for both sides. I think, in my opinion, you kind of have to stay doing what you've done so far this season. I don't think just because you're playing a certain team, you can change everything completely. I think you do need to lean on that rushing attack to open up the passing game, but I think you still need to take your shots downfield. And I think Alabama's rushing attack, as you mentioned, has been skewed a little bit. You look at some of those teams like Florida State, who has a quarterback in Thomas Castellanos, and Mizzou, who has Bo Perbula, and Vanderbilt, who has Diego Pavia. They have quarterbacks that can also affect the game with their legs. Joey Aguilar's not really a quarterback that affects the game with his legs. Now, I know they drew up a couple plays for him last week, and he had around 60 rushing yards, but outside of that, the rushing with Joey Aguilar this year has pretty much been non-existent. He doesn't run the ball. So I think if they're able to load the box, like you said, you're going to have those one-on-one plays, and I would take some shots on those. And if they don't work out, then you keep going and you keep rotating different backs in and maybe have some longer drives. But I definitely wouldn't switch up what you're doing completely just because you're afraid of them having 8-9 minute drives and you wanting your defense to have time to rest. I think you have to stick to what you've done well throughout the season because it worked against Georgia. You got in a high-scoring affair with them. Now, you didn't pull it out, but, you played very well in that game. So I think you just have to continue doing offensively what you've done this season.
Brett, stick to your guns or maybe change it up, try to find a way to outmatch this Bama team?
Well, if we can't run the ball, we're going to be screwed because we can't become one-dimensional. We talk about Alabama being one-dimensional. Our run game is a key to a lot of our pass game, play action, RPOs, things like that. So I think it's the key to the game. We got to be able to establish the run against their porous rush defense, and try and get ahead of the chains as best you can. Make those third downs more a little easier. When you can still run the ball maybe on third and short, different things like that. So. Tempo as well is key, So, personally, I think I'd like us to maybe huddle up and do some things like that to slow the game down a little bit, make it easier, and use those three running backs to our advantage. And, I just think the run game is going to be the key to this one and keeping the ball out of harm's way and different things like that. So, I'd like to see us establish the run straight away.
Jackson, what about you?
Yeah, I just got to agree with Brett. I don't know if there's much more I can add on there. The run game is utmost important for this one. So.
Yeah. And you're coming off a game where you had a lot of success with it. Hopefully you can take that into T-Town. Another reason, though, to think that Alabama's passing defense is maybe not as good as the numbers look, it's their pass rush. Pretty lackluster. They rank 100th nationally with just 9 sacks this season and have a poor team pass rush grade on PFF. And I want to talk about the offensive line now because the offensive line is going to be very important in setting up that rushing attack and also giving Joey Aguilar the amount of time necessary to get it down the field and pass plays. But we have known in these road games that there are usually some miscues from the Tennessee offensive line. A lot of false starts, maybe an ineligible receiver downfield, stuff like that. You had 10 penalties in your own building. On Saturday. Will this offensive line control the road environment? And you still want to see this rotation they've got going where you see a David Sanders and a William Satterwhite come in. Like Sanders got 22 snaps on Saturday. And I think like Jesse Perry had like 49. Sanders graded out really well in the passing grade, in the pass blocking. He was a 79, which is very strong. And the run, he was a 42. So it doesn't sound like he's there. But I feel like if you continue to rotate these guys in and out, you're creating a lack of consistency. And also, it might become predictable, the type of situation. So if Sanders trots out there, okay, well, it looks like they might be going pass here, or maybe in an obvious passing down, you throw him out there, and maybe that helps. But, like, I kind of want a structured group. I want this, I want Sanders to play, and I like Satterwhite. I wish Satterwhite would have won the job because it would have been really nice to have him, had him be the center, and you could have moved Pendleton over, and you could have had some more continuity there. But I don't really like the rotation thing. The offensive line is not a basketball thing to me. You can't sub these guys in and out. It's not like the defensive line. The offensive line needs to stay the same group because that communication is so key in an environment that's going to be loud. You need that. So I feel like if they're not able to control the communication and stuff like that early on, I don't see the reason to continue subbing guys in and out. And
are you starting Sanders?
I would start him. He was the best guy coming out of camp.
Okay.
And
I put Perry at guard.
Yeah, and I don't think Sham Umarov has done a bad job by any means, but if Sanders is the guy that you believe is the best player and was the best player in your evaluation all year, then play him. Mm-hmm. And I mean the run grade was bad, and that's not something that you want to see, but maybe that's just knocking off the rust. It's going to be a tough matchup against those Alabama guys. Right. But if you believe that he's the better player, then play the guy.
Yeah, you don't want it predictable, like you said, right? Like here's Sanders in, here comes the pass play.
Yeah.
And things like that. But yeah. I don't know.
So I do have concerns that this offensive line will control the road environment. We've seen multiple instances of that in years past. But I feel like it only further complicates the communication if you have multiple different guys out there. Garrett, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think you have to keep it, a steady group of structure. You can't just have guys rotating in and out of the game, especially in this. I mean, obviously, you're going to have a couple rotations to keep people fresh and whatnot, but I think you keep the same guys out there the majority of the game and keep it unpredictable. I mean, this is going to be a road atmosphere that's going to be different than Starkville. I mean, Bryant-Denny Stadium is, 100,000 loud fans. This isn't going to be Mississippi State that has 65,000 fans. So this is going to be a completely different atmosphere. And going back to the penalties, I mean, this is going to be a game where if you have a bunch of false starts and you do what you did against Arkansas where you have 10 penalties and they have 1, you're losing this game by double digits. You have to be smart with the football, and you can't be jumping off sides and having ineligible receivers downfield because your offensive line's making stupid plays and putting you behind the chains to start drives.
Yeah. All right, we got about 4 minutes until the break. We'll head to the phones real quick. We got Roberto on the line. What's up, Roberto?
Top of the afternoon, gentlemen.
How are you?
Outstanding. Thanks for asking.
Good.
Hey, in games of consequence, so see also Florida State, I'm not going to count UL Monroe or Wisconsin.
Okay.
Vandy, Missouri, and Georgia. Ironically, Georgia had 0 sacks. And in those other 3 games, Florida State, Vandy, how many sacks is Vandy though? Yeah, I think you had it off the top. Do you realize they're averaging 4 sacks a game in those games?
Yeah. I mean,
it's crazy to me
when
I started looking at it. The one that got me is when you guys started talking about how they held Missouri, Ahmad, what's his name?
Yeah, Ahmad Hardy. Only had, 54
you.
carries? Or 54 yards. 54 yards, I should say.
It really impressed. He's a schedule merchant just like his team. Do you realize that the best rush defense he's played is 15 spots behind Tennessee?
Yeah, and who would that be?
That's Alabama.
Yeah.
Do you know what the second best is? South Carolina at 80.
Yeah.
And then everybody else they've played is in the 120s. And I'm not including FCS teams. Missouri schedule merchants, it's stupid. And sit here and just say Ahmad Hardy's setting the world on fire, and because he only has 54 yards against Alabama, we're in deep crop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I liked Hardy, though. I will say, I mean, he's had a good start to the season. Now, obviously, haven't played the best defenses, but yes.
No, he's going against awful defenses against the rush. South Carolina is the best team he had played until Alabama, and they're 80th against the rush.
Yeah.
Now, some of that may be because he played against them and they just kept pounding the football.
Sure.
Some of that factors. There's no doubt about it. But when I started looking it up, I figured they played somebody with a pulse in the run game.
Mm-hmm.
They have not.
Yeah.
They only played Alabama, who does not have a pulse in their run game. So this is more of a hang on this Missouri segment than it is a show me my opponent segment. But nonetheless, I'm just not sold that Alabama's going to be able to stop us in the run game. I'm not. And until I'm proven different, so be it. I want to be positive. By the way, you guys are somewhat positive. You got Brett to say a positive comment today. I'm really proud of you.
Yeah, hey.
I mean, what are you paying the man?
I'm not. Hey, I think Brett's he's come around. He started, he's like, man, I originally caught him off guard with a couple of my sayings because I'm a little quick-witted sometimes, and I'll say like a lost in the sauce or something like that. And at first, Brett wasn't a fan, but I think he's coming around to it. He gave me a compliment yesterday on one of them.
Let's not go too far. Okay, let's not. But you don't need to get out over your skis. I don't think words of affirmation is your love language, bro.
Not at all.
But that's it, guys. As the week goes on, I'm not saying Tennessee's going to win because I refuse to say that because that would be ill-minded. Man, there is a lot of statistics. I'm surprised that Tennessee matches up so well against Alabama. Here's the high heat, okay? Here's the high heat, gentlemen. I think we match up against Alabama defensively for our defense, and then our offense for defense better than we match up against Arkansas. That's all I think. I know. But,
I think we're.
But he's gonna get hit.
I think we're Roberto's kind of coming in.
Yeah,
Roberto, we're kind of losing you a little bit. Okay, he dropped.
Yeah,
he dropped.
It was just getting. Yeah, we kind of got. Yeah, he was just struggling there for a little bit.
Yeah, I
we appreciate the call.
I appreciate the call as always from Roberto. I couldn't really hear the end, the last bit of that, but. He's got some good optimism. I think a lot of people still have that optimism. We have optimism on here. We're just trying to break it down.
I do like his take that Missouri is a benefiters of their schedule.
Yeah,
I do like that.
Yeah,
that's something I agree with.
They still haven't left the state yet.
Well, they do this weekend, right?
Yeah, they do. I know, but
I mean, that's huge. Yeah.
All right, when we come back, it's our Best Bets Look Ahead presented by VIP Play. Stay right here. It's the Playbook presented by VIP Play.
Catch up with all things Fan Run by subscribing to our podcast feed. Like, rate, and download the show from the Fan Run app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Your smile says it all, so make sure it's saying the right thing. At Knoxville Smiles, we believe healthy teeth mean happy lives. Whether it's a routine cleaning, whitening for that big event, or fixing a nagging toothache, our gentle team is here for you. With flexible hours, family-friendly care, and the latest technology, Knoxville Smiles makes every visit stress-free. Don't wait another day to love your smile. Call Knoxville Smiles today at 865-539-1776 or book online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the volunteer state. Smoked daily by Pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Hi, this is Bo Kregner from the Kregner Group at Realty Executives, and I know there's a lot of choices here in East Tennessee when it comes to choosing a realtor. Here's why the Kregner Group is different. At the Kregner Group, our motto is walking by faith, serving others. It's how I live my life. It's how I run my business. Here at the Kregner Group, we're committed to doing real estate the right way. Faith, honesty, integrity. The Kregner Group. Call me anytime at 865-742-1035 or visit my website at boknowshouses.com.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Hey, folks, if you're in need of a lawyer, you need to call my friend Jerry Givens. I've known Jerry since high school and can personally vouch for him. He's East Tennessee through and through, and if you're going through a divorce, bankruptcy, or a DUI case, you'll need someone you can trust on your side to help you navigate the local legal system. You can trust Jerry Givens. Call the law offices of Jerry Givens today at 865-801-9250 to schedule your free consultation. That's 801-9250.
Dick's House of Sport at Westtown Mall is a destination devoted to sport, and it's your destination for exclusive events and experiences. Come visit a store like no other. Check out our 40-foot rock wall, golf performance center, hit tracks batting cage, and outdoor turf field. You can now rent our space for private events and birthday parties. Learn more about our events and exclusive product launches on Facebook and Instagram at Dick's House of Sport KNX. Dick's House of Sport, proud partner of Tennessee Athletics.
All right, back here on the Playbook presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you hanging out with us on this Wednesday. Now time for our Best Bets Look Ahead presented by VIP Play. Go claim your VIP Play welcome bonus. When you make your first bet of $20 or more, folks, you'll get $100 instantly in bonus bets by using the code FANRUN. That's FANRUN in all caps to claim those bonus bets. If you want to get in on the action this weekend in T-Town, bet Tennessee plus the 8.5 if you want. I don't know. Maybe you want to take the Titans this weekend in the NFL after the firing of Brian Callahan. I don't know what you want to do, but you can do it on the VIP Play app. Get $100 in bonus bets when you use that code FANRUN. FANRUN, all caps, to get those bonus bets. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 years or older and located in Tennessee to bet. All right, no sides for me tonight in the two midweek games between Delaware and Jacksonville State. We also got UTEP and Sam Houston. UTEP's 1-5 on the season. Sam Houston 0-6. Really, really bad football. I don't suggest that on anyone to watch that. But Delaware, Jacksonville State, I guess could get interesting. Malachi Nelson, I think, got benched for UTEP now, so he's not even the starter still. That was a former 5-star. But let's focus on this weekend. As I mentioned, a lot of sides I'm looking at. Alabama, Tennessee will be a system play. I'll most likely have Alabama minus the 8.5. I know Knoxville people won't want to hear that. I like Duke minus the 1.5 right now over Georgia Tech. I think the Yellow Jackets are good, but I think they're a little bit overrated, and Duke is actually a sneaky good team. They played really well last week or 2 weeks ago against Cal, and that was an impressive win late in the night. If Vanderbilt gets above 3, they will be a system play as well in a rank versus rank matchup, and I honestly don't mind taking them at the 2.5 either, as LSU offensively just continues to struggle. Georgia minus the 7.5 will be a system play as well against Ole Miss. And we go down to Notre Dame, 9.5 against USC. They would be a system play as well. I like Auburn at the plus 1.5. It's a do or die spot for Hugh Freeze as Brett smiles and shakes his head.
Just don't understand.
I'm taking the spot. Missouri hadn't traveled out of the country or out of the state of Missouri all year.
What a spot to travel to, though. Yeah. A terrible team on the road.
It'll be jumping at 7:45.
Please, they're done with that guy down there. The guy behind center.
Well,
Lon Hardy's going to have a field day.
I mean, Deuce Knight comes out and hangs out. And then finally, I like Utah minus the 3.5 up against BYU. Those are my sides that I like right now. Obviously, I don't place these until Friday when we come on the air. So make sure you stick around for our best bets of the weekend when we come back on Friday. But this has been the Best Bets Look Ahead presented by VIP Play. When we come back, we've got our college football contending questions and also talk about 4 VFLs that have been listed on the Mel Kiper's NFL draft big board and mock, where they stand amongst the other players at their position. We'll talk about it when we return right here on the Playbook, presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
Follow us on Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it these days at Fox Sports Knox. Fox Sports Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Today, we raise a glass of Jameson Irish whiskey to the sport of football. Hear, hear!
To Gaelic football, born in Ireland in 1885 in its thrilling blend of soccer, rugby and basketball. On a massive field, 15 players kick or hand pass a round ball that scored points over a bar or into a net. No pads, no helmet, no sense.
Hear, hear!
To college football, which kicked off in 1869 when Rutgers beat Princeton 6-4 in the Battle of New Jersey. With 11 players and helmets and pads, teams battle on a 100-yard gridiron with explosive pass plays and hard-hitting tackles. Unless you're called for targeting.
Hear, hear! Since 1780, Jameson Irish whiskey has been enjoyed by sports fans all around the globe. Whether your football is Gaelic, American, or even soccer, we can all agree on super smooth Jameson Irish whiskey. Hear, hear!
Are you tired of waiting on interest rates to drop before you start saving money? I'm Chris Burleson with University Lending Group, and I've got a better way. With a traditional closed-end mortgage, most of your payment goes straight to interest, not your balance. But with my Smart Loan, every deposit you make cuts your principal immediately and reduces interest in real time. On average, my clients pay off their mortgage in just 7 years. Call me today at 865-388-7634 or visit smartloantn.com and let's turn your income into financial freedom. NMLS number 332941.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Tired of waiting for the weekend or good weather to play around? From casual to committed, Back 9 Golf has got you covered. Open to the public and offering flexible membership opportunities, they offer 24/7 access to 5 different simulators, providing cutting-edge technology, instant swing feedback, fun mini games, and a wide variety of courses to choose from. Perfect for that solo round you want after work, or swing by with food and drinks for an afternoon with friends and family. No stressful tee times, no rain delays. It's Back 9 Golf your way. Book your tee time now at theback9golf.com.
Running a business, coaching a team, planning your next big event, you need more than just gear. You need SM Athletics and Logo Solutions. Custom uniforms, branded apparel, promotional products, done right, done fast, and built to show off your brand with pride. From local businesses to high schools to major universities, SM Athletics is trusted by winners. Get real service, get real quality, get noticed. SM Athletics and Logo Solutions, where your brand comes to life.
Visit smathletics.com and let's build something great together.
The number one problem we see at our clinic is delaying treatment. ED can get worse.
Book your appointment right now. Call 865-544-8220. Prefer privacy? Book online in under 30 seconds at menspronaknoxville.com.
At our clinics, men's sexual health is the whole job. Look, I'm a normal guy too. I hate going to the doctor. But we've helped so many guys in here just like you. Even if pills have failed, our medical team is going to take the time to talk you through it. Same day in-house lab, and the treatments, well, they could change your life.
Your local medical team has your back. ED, performance, Peyronie's, size and shape modeling. We tailor what works for you.
I'll get to the point. Can you imagine epic performance and epic sex? Yeah, I said it.
A stronger you is closer than you think. We're available right now. Call 865-544-8220. Or book in 30 seconds or less at menspronaknoxville.com. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Here we go. Hour number 2 on a Wednesday, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios, it's the Playbook, presented by VIP Play. Brett Hollander, Garrett Armbrust, and Jackson Freeman joining you. I'm William Pattison. Great stuff in hour number one. We'll continue it here in hour number two as we'll talk our contending questions for week 8 of the college football season, bridging the storylines from week 7 into the new week. And then we'll also take a look at Mel Kiper's NFL draft board that features 4 volunteers at the top of their position. We'll tell you who those guys are, and then we'll wrap things up with our final thoughts as always. So let's get into the action with our contending questions, and we'll begin with question 1. Has Matt Rule done enough at Nebraska to justify his front-runner status for the Penn State opening? So as we know, James Franklin was fired over the weekend. His time with the Nittany Lions came to an end, and a lot are probably rejoicing because this was a disaster tailwind that began in the second overtime of a whiteout against Oregon and then collapsed to a loss against winless UCLA, and then got even worse when they lost to Northwestern at home. So now the Penn State job is open, and there are a lot of different coaches that have been put up for it. Matt Rule being one of them. He's got ties to Penn State, used to be a linebacker for the Nittany Lions back in the day. The same athletic director that hired him at Temple is now at Penn State. So there's a connection there as well. So Rule's been a guy that's been thrown out there. Another one is Curt Cignetti at Indiana. What a job he has done so far in Indiana. I mean, taking that team from a basketball school to a college football playoff contender in both of the seasons he's been there. Incredible work. And then Matt Campbell at Iowa State is also a name that's been floated around. He's always been a hot topic name in coaching cycles over the last couple of years, but I feel like, Cignetti would be the strongest option, if any, for Penn State. But Matt Rule continues to get floated out there. And I feel like if Matt Rule didn't have the type of connection to Penn State and didn't already know the AD, he wouldn't be on this list right now. Because while I do like Matt Rule a lot, he was very successful at Baylor, very successful at Temple. His time at Nebraska hasn't been great. And what is he? 4-18 all time against top 2. I'd love to have the actual number right up in front of me. I'll find it here in a second. But it's not like he's had much success at Nebraska beating some good teams, and they've had some great resources, and they've got a passionate program like Penn State does. So I feel like Matt Rule's is kind of being thrown out there because the connection that already exists between people within the program and also him playing there. I don't think he should be thrown in these conversations. If I'm Penn State, I'm head over heels for Curt Cignetti. I'm going for Marcus Freeman. I'm going for Lane Kiffin. I'm going big game hunting because I feel like that's what I should do as a program that has constantly been in the mix but doesn't have the guy that take me over. I think Matt Rule is kind of just getting like a B- coach. And I feel like James Franklin was a B coach. I don't feel like you're really getting an upgrade right now. So I don't think Matt Rule should be a legitimate candidate for Penn State at the moment. Garrett, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I just don't see why you would go hire. You fire a coach because they won all the games they were supposed to and can't win the big one. And I feel like Matt Rule throughout his career at Temple and Baylor, and now at Nebraska, has kind of done the same. He's won the games he's supposed to, but as you said, he hasn't won, the top 15 matchups where his resume is not very good. I think if you're, their AD, you have to go out and you have to make a home run hire. And that's, what they said he was going to do yesterday. He was going to make calls to Marcus Freeman. He was going to make calls to maybe a Lane Kiffin or Curt Cignetti. I think Curt Cignetti personally would be stupid to leave Indiana. I think he's building something very special there that he'll be remembered for centuries for. And I think that him leaving IU would not be a smart decision. I think another name to look at is Manny Diaz. He was the DC there a couple years back. He's had great success at Duke as being the head coach. I think that's a name that you go after if all the other guys say no, but I think you have to make some people say no before you go after somebody like that.
Yeah, to update what I was trying to say earlier, so he's lost 18 straight games to top 25 opponents, and he's 2-23 against top 25 teams. Now, I will say he has, kind of rebuilt 3 teams, basically. He rebuilt Temple and made them competitive. Baylor was a wash. He rebuilt them. And he steadily, rebuilt Nebraska as well. But Penn State's not looking for a rebuild. They're looking for a guy that's going to walk in there and win right away. To Brett, do you believe that Matt Rule should be considered in these coaching conversations for the Nittany Lions?
I mean, he's going to be. I mean, if they're first few, I mean, he's got to be at the top of the list, I would think. And they're going to aim high. Another name I was reading on this morning was Joe Brady, Bill's offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I think coached there with Joe Moorhead and stuff like that. But Penn State's big donor is the owner of the Bills, Pagula, I believe is his name. So, that's just that'd be a potential home run for them, I believe, because I think you just need an exciting brand of more of an offensive guy, and there's not a lot of names out there that would excite Penn State fans, I don't think, for the most part. I mean, I think we mentioned maybe Drinkwitz yesterday at one point. I mean, would that do enough? He's an offensive guy, but I don't know. But it's a tough spot because I just don't know how many coaches out there are. We can say what we want about James Franklin, but he was a good coach, and who can take this team that's a 10-win perennial team to higher heights than James Franklin had them or as early as last year.
Yeah.
So the schedule's very manageable starting next year. So, I don't know. It's very this is quite the unique job opening, to say the least.
Yeah, Buck chimes in and says, as a lifelong PSU fan, Rule is not the guy that needs to be there. So
Buck's a Penn State guy?
That's what he's saying.
Wow.
That's what he's saying.
I had no idea.
He's always been active in Tennessee.
Well, maybe Buck will tell us who he wants.
Yeah. Well, Buck, comment who you like would like to take the job, Buck. We'll move to question 2. Indiana currently has a 91% chance of making the playoff, according to The Athletic. Will Penn State or any school wait for Kirk Cignetti? And does the 12-team CFP change who are realistic candidates moving forward? Now, for example, if Memphis were to make the college football playoff, does that eliminate Ryan Silverfield from taking another gig? If Indiana makes the college football playoff, does a team like Penn State want to wait for him to finish out his season? So obviously that first round is like December 20th, 21st. These teams are trying to get this stuff done before National Signing Day, that first National Signing Day, and that's in mid-December, like the 13th or something like that. So they want to get these things done because the portal is going to open up soon. They want to get all their resources in. I feel like the 12-team playoff makes things difficult for some of these top coaches or maybe those group of 5 coaches to find another landing spot. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing that these guys are able to stick at that group of 5 level and make group of 5 football more competitive, as there are a lot of great group of 5 coaches this season. Like a Silverfield, like a Golish. There are plenty of options out there. But like for Cignetti, if that's a team that advances and could very well have a bye right now if they continue on this trajectory, they wouldn't play until January. Would Penn State really wait to get a guy in January? I feel like that's a really tough position to put yourself in. And in terms of roster evaluation, roster formation, it puts you way behind the 8 ball. I feel like you would have to pass in that instance. Where do you stand with this contending question, Garrett?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one to think of. I mean, obviously, you can't really go out and poach a coach like Cignetti in the middle of a playoff run or right now. I mean, he's going to, more than likely shoot you down until the season's at least over. But, I mean, as you said with those group of 5 coaches, I mean, I think that there's 4 group of 5 coaches right now that are going to be coaching Power 4 football again within the next 3 years, being Ryan Silverfield at Memphis, John Summerall at Tulane, Alex Golish at South Florida, and Dan Mullen at UNLV. And all of those teams have a chance to make the playoff this year. And if you were to, make a call to them, that's another instance where, they can't really say anything until their seasons come to a close. So with the timeline of where the playoff is and, firing a coach 6-7 weeks into the season, that kind of leaves you in no man's land for, 2-3 months.
Yeah, Brett.
Yeah, it's tough. This is the part of when you fire somebody, this is the tough part about it, especially when you do it before the season's over. It sounds like Florida's could be opened as early as this weekend from all reports coming out today. So you're gonna have some big jobs open. So how do these coaches that are potential candidates react? As far as we've heard players having to report. Dylan Raiola is like, "Oh, my coach isn't going anywhere." That sort of thing.
Yeah.
But could it be a package deal for Penn State? Could Raiola go with his coach? So yeah, it's very interesting. I think you can pretty much book Indiana in the college football playoff at this point.
Yeah.
So if you're Penn State and you think you can get Cignetti, then you're waiting.
Yeah.
No matter when it is, I think that guy has proven that it doesn't matter when he takes over a team, it can be instantaneous. And, I think he would fire up, recruits that have dropped off, things like that. But with that new portal window, as far as players go too,
yeah,
when you talk about coaches is one thing, but what's the window like? Because then the window is going to be closed possibly when a coach comes in too.
Well, so the new rules are if a coach is fired, the portal, the 30-day window does not open up until a new coach is hired.
Okay.
So they would still have that same
Could
team.
they have the one portal window, but then they would get another one?
Because I thought the UCLA and Virginia Tech portal windows ended the other day.
And that was because they had made that rule before.
Okay, so that was before
those firings had happened. So
would there be two windows for like a Penn State?
So I guess that since there would be two windows, I'd have to look at that. I don't know off the top of my head.
I haven't seen any actual Penn State guys like enter the portal.
Well, they can't yet.
They can't?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like in that UCLA and Virginia Tech instance, those guys could immediately do it because that was still intact. Of coach gets fired, you got 30 days.
But they were also doing it because of the eligibility rules, right?
Correct.
It did it before 4 games.
Correct.
So you could redshirt at that point still.
Yeah.
If you're past that point. Well, yeah, you can't redshirt once you've played 4 games.
Yeah, that's what.
But I'm sure there are guys on Penn State that haven't played 4 games yet too that could have. But again, it now doesn't
like
open up. Yeah,
like you would want.
Yeah, but it doesn't open up now until after that coach is hired.
Gotcha.
That hired. Jackson, what about you? What do you make of this contending question?
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for Penn State to just get a good guy to go. Not Marcus Freeman. James Franklin had, everything he could have wanted in NIL and recruiting ability, and they got several top talent guys and could never make it work. And that could be on Franklin, but what is the luster that's going to attract someone like Curt Cignetti from what he's building at Indiana to Penn State when, right now Indiana has a better team than Penn State, a better program today. So I just, maybe they'd be able to get a guy like Lane Kiffin out of Ole Miss, who Penn State probably does have a little more to offer in the NIL capacity or even just an overall recruiting pitch than Oxford, Mississippi. But I don't know. I think it could be a challenge for them.
Is Florida or Penn State the better job or bigger job for you guys?
I think Florida's the better job.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I would agree with that.
Florida's got the recent
sales.
They've got the recent history.
No tax.
Huh?
No tax when you're getting paid, things like that.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Living, I guess. Yeah.
But they've got the sponsorships too. They're a Jordan title. They're Gatorade's number one. They've got the assets.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, that logo means something. I think that logo means a little bit more than Penn State right now in my eyes.
Penn State's got all that new Adidas money coming in.
Yeah,
as well.
and that is true. But like Florida's they've got DJ Lagway on Jordan commercials. Like they are the standard for the Jordan brand outside of UNC. And you mentioned Kiffin. I don't think Kiffin would ever consider Penn State. I think he would really consider Florida though.
Yeah.
I don't see him leaving Ole Miss. Okay. He has a daughter in school there. Like he moved back to Oxford basically saved his entire. Yeah. He said in that documentary basically Oxford saved his life. I just don't see him leaving Ole Miss anytime soon.
I feel like I'll say Ole Miss fits him. Ole Miss fits him because Lane is a little quirky. He has, he's a little different. Like Ole Miss, their football team has got to be a little different. It's not like they have some illustrious history. It's not like they've got some big stadium. They're just a little different.
Yeah.
And like Kiffin can be a little bit of a cornball at Ole Miss, and it's all fun and games. You can't really be a cornball out of Florida or like an Alabama, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I think if there were a spot for him to go, it would be Florida. But I would agree with Gary. I think Ole Miss is a good spot. Real quick, Buck says, I love Tennessee, but yes, I am from Pennsylvania. Signetti, Brady, and everyone's wish list is Gruden. LOL.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll
okay.
see.
That's a guy you bring in right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's free agent.
Yeah.
That'd be wild.
Continuing the topic of coaches, should Arkansas keep Petrino as their head coach for the future? The Razorbacks came just a field goal away from knocking off Tennessee on the road this weekend, and Arkansas said that they would consider Petrino for the full-time position a little bit earlier. And I guess it was last week when they said it, but they would consider him for the position. We'll make this a quick one. Absolutely not. You've already seen this movie once, and it ended in disaster with a neck brace. I think Petrino's a good coach. He's a good offensive coach. He's a good coordinator. He's past his prime. I don't care if they were competitive this weekend. Arkansas's already made this mistake once. I can't believe they're actually even considering it. I say no.
No. Go hire Rhett Lashley.
Rhett Lashley. Okay, that's a good call there. Brett, yes or no?
Oh, heck no. He's a goofball. Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't even. What's he still doing with sunglasses on it when it's night out? Like, it was ridiculous. Yeah. If I'm them, I'm just going to go get James Franklin. He had success in the SEC.
See, James Franklin now, he's going to be the hot topic for all the kind
Absolutely.
of. He's
the borderline. Like you mentioned, Virginia Tech. I mean,
yeah.
Well,
I've got people in the chat right now.
Could only do worse.
There are people in the chat saying Franklin to Florida. Book it.
Oh, that's even grosser.
I don't like that. That'd be like just a mid hire.
That feels like Charlie Strong or something again.
Yeah. Jackson Petrino, should he stick around? Be given another chance?
No, you need some fresh life in that Arkansas program.
Yeah.
The funny thing, I just thought about this about Franklin's buyout. Like the fine print is that he has to find another job. He can't just sit around and sit on the payout money. And Penn State will only have to pay the difference in his new contract.
Yeah.
So that's something where Penn State maybe could swing on a big coaching hire because they're actually not stuck paying $49 million to. Texas A&M. Why didn't you write something like that into Fisher's contract?
Yeah, that would have been nice. Yeah. All right. Question number 4: mid-season redo. Name 1 to 2. Or, name 1 or 2 top 15 teams right now who will not end up in the upper half of the polls at the season's end. Conversely, which 1 to 2 teams not currently ranked make the biggest jump before the playoff? My 2 teams right now that are in the top 15 that I don't think are going to be able to be there later on. I'll start with LSU. Offensively, I haven't seen it. Garrett Nussmeier has been really disappointing. Started off the season okay. But, the injuries are one thing. What I've seen for the last 7 weeks is another. It's just the same mixed bag of overthrows and poorly timed footballs. I think LSU has a great defense, and they've shown up this season. I just can't believe in their offense. Now, I would say Georgia Tech because I believe they lose this weekend, but they've got such an easy schedule that I think they can creep back up. So I'm not going to say them. And right now, I'm going to say Oklahoma because Oklahoma does have a really tough schedule the rest of the way. And John Mateer looked like a shell of himself on Saturday and the Red River rivalry. 3 interceptions, was really limited against that Texas defense. And Oklahoma is going to have a lot of tough matchups the rest of the way. So I feel like those 2 teams that got off to strong starts in SEC play that have to round out with a mix of really, really tough teams. I mean, Vanderbilt could knock off LSU this weekend, given their second loss. So I say LSU and Oklahoma. In terms of teams that move up, I'm eyeing Washington, the Huskies out of Big Ten. Damon Williams had a really, really impressive performance on Saturday. I think that was Brett's most impressive quarterback on Monday.
Yeah.
Washington's a team that only has 1 loss, and it was to Ohio State. They only scored 6 points at home. I get it. But they've handled the rest of the way so far and their conference and schedule. So I think they could move up. I also look at Duke. I think Duke beats Georgia Tech Saturday. That gives them a top 25 win. They'd be 5-2 on the season with a loss to Illinois mixed in there. But I think Duke is a team that has a favorable schedule the rest of the way, could possibly ruffle some feathers in the ACC. Darian Mintz playing good football right now. Those are really two teams I would say could make that jump as we head into the second half of the season. So LSU and Oklahoma, and then Washington and Duke for me.
I'm going to say Oklahoma as well, just the schedule that they have coming in, very difficult. And then I'm going to go Oregon, the team that I was much higher on. I don't know if Indiana is just national championship good or if Oregon is maybe slightly not as good as we thought they were, but I could see them dropping another game, definitely. Teams moving up. I'm going to go Utah. I think they beat BYU this weekend. I think when Devin Dampier is at full health, I think that offense is very good, and I think they can compete with Texas Tech for a Big 12 title. And then I think Memphis is an interesting team. They'll play USF next week at noon. That basically is going to be most likely the winner of that game will go to the college football playoff for the G5 placement. That team will probably win the AAC. So I'm going to go Memphis and BYU right now. Or excuse me, Memphis and Utah. Utah beating BYU.
Okay. Let's see. 2 teams that you think, or 1 to 2 teams you think move up, 1 to 2 teams you think move down. Who are those, Brett?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with y'all. Oklahoma, just, unless Mateer shows differently, you got to, with their schedule, it's just too tough. And just to switch things up, I'll go and say A&M. I know that they got Arkansas. Their next 3 are on the road. You got Arkansas, LSU, Missouri all on the road. I mean, we know how life is in the SEC, especially on the road. Anything can happen. A&M has a history of, starting strong, maybe coming back to the field. They also end the season at Texas. So just for the sake of the conversation, switch it up. I'll say Texas A&M.
Okay.
And then, like I said, Oklahoma. And I'll say I really only got one that maybe UNLV, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe they can run the table and sneak into this, I don't know where they end in the rankings, but I think they're a possible playoff team.
Yeah, the Mighty Mullins off to a 6-0 start. Will they run the table this weekend and knock off Boise State on the blue turf? Jackson, 1 to 2 teams up and down for you.
Yeah, my team going down is Ole Miss. Man, you have a nail biter against one of the worst teams in FBS in your home stadium, and it's not the first 3 weeks of college football. I mean, we're well into the season. That was a pretty embarrassing showcase, especially after getting your biggest win of the season so far against LSU, who might not be as good as we thought. And my team going up is USC. I mean, they are a missed field goal away from being 6-0.
Yeah.
And I think that I like what they do offensively. I think they've got a chance to shake some things up in the Big Ten.
I think Brett just quivered hearing that. He doesn't like that USC team.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but that is true. They are a field goal away from being
I'm interested in
undefeated
this weekend against Notre Dame. That should be a fun one.
I don't like it for them.
You don't?
Okay.
I
think
should be a lot of points in that one.
I think Notre Dame kind of rolls them.
It's supposed to be raining, so they're going to be using Price.
And they got a running back out, right?
Yeah.
USC.
They got possibly 2. Yeah. Sanders is out for the year.
Okay.
Well, with all the rain, maybe they'll make lemons and lemonade. They
got the Freeman distraction, maybe.
Yeah.
Cowherd was throwing out $15 million today for him on TV.
Yeah, Cowherd needs to stick to NFL. His college football, his college football stuff is rough. All right, we got 5 minutes, so let's condense. We'll go to question 6 here. Does Ty Simpson deserve to be regarded as one of the Heisman Trophy favorites, and are there a lack of stars this year in college football? That's been one interesting storyline I've seen from a couple of people saying that there's kind of a lack of stars this year. Like last year, Jeremiah Smith came onto the scene, and everyone was dazzled by him. Ryan Williams had that incredible catch against Georgia. Those were some big moments in the season. And I feel like this year, we've just seen so much parity. Like 1 week, a guy like Dante Moore goes on the road to Penn State and throws 75% of his passes completed. I feel like Fernando Mendoza has been the most consistent guy so far this season in terms of that star level. But does he have the swag as a star?
Yeah.
He's not. He's not really entertaining, right? So I feel like Ty Simpson is kind of the same way. He doesn't have a whole lot of swag, but he's played good football. in terms of the stars, like Ryan Williams is kind of disappointing this year, hasn't been as flashy and has a little bit of a drop catch problem. For Jeremiah Smith, they don't play anyone. So it's like, it's hard to get hyped up about them beating Minnesota. And I know they beat Illinois this weekend, but
he hadn't made the splash play either. Normally it was like popping up one-handed catches, things like that. But
exactly.
I think he's just going through the motions, man. He's just getting ready to get to the league.
So I don't think there's a lack of stars per se. I just feel like this year's narratives have been the teams and the amount of parity each week. Like we have like 3 or 4 upsets every weekend right now. And I think that's fun, and I think that's the good storyline here. But in terms of Simpson, I think he does deserve to be regarded as like a top 5 guy. But he hadn't necessarily had that moment for me yet. Maybe that was Georgia, and maybe if him and Ryan Williams connected on that 75-yard play, I'd look at it a little bit different.
Doesn't he just feel like, though, what an Alabama quarterback is?
Yeah.
You know, like what Saban never had. He had Hurts and Tua, but they weren't like, you know, I don't know.
Like
it just seems like a Alabama quarterback.
John Mateer felt the most Heisman to me, like the most like the biggest spectacle of the early season, and then he gets hurt, and now it's and then he played really bad this weekend, and it's like that might be gone. But like in terms of a spectacle, he made it, and I thought he was that star.
Yeah.
So I feel like
I thought Hardy could have made a splash like this weekend because he was demolishing people with the run, the amount of yards.
Yeah.
Like you felt like he could have his moment this weekend to put himself at the top of the list.
Yeah. I'll swing it to you, Garrett. The contending question. Ty Simpson, regarded as a Heisman Trophy favorite in the lack of stars this season in college football.
I mean, I think he has to be. I mean, we read his stats out earlier. He's taking care of the football after Florida State. He's played like one of the best quarterbacks in the country. We're going to see it firsthand this weekend. I think he's definitely if it was today, he'd be in New York City.
Yeah. Yeah. Brett?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I think he is going to be in New York City personally. I mean, it just doesn't seem like he's going to slow down his numbers. He's been far too consistent, and he's got good weapons. I think he's going to continue to put up big numbers as the season goes on.
Until that big bad Tennessee secondary comes up.
He's going to be at the top. He's going to be right at the top after Saturday. There's no doubt about that. That first round corner over there.
One of my friends texted earlier and said Ty Simpson is going to book his ticket to New York after Saturday.
Yeah, I mean to beat 4 ranked teams in a row. I mean you're at the top of the list.
Yeah, Jackson. What about you?
Yeah, I mean he's definitely played the part. He's got a few more passing touchdowns than Joey Aguilar does. So I guess in the stat world, that's what puts him above. But yeah, I mean he's played clean football. They're winning, beating good teams. So
yeah. All right, rapid fire for question 7. Which top 25 team is most likely to get upset this weekend? I gave mine earlier. I said Georgia Tech. I think I think Duke.
Crazy.
I think. Oh, you think that's crazy?
Yes.
Oh,
I love Georgia. I love Georgia Tech.
What do you love about them? You love the fact they went to overtime with Wake Forest.
They won.
Oh. So now winning. All right, timeout. Hey, Jackson, I know earlier you said that Ole Miss might go down, but at least they beat Washington State this weekend and did it in a good fashion.
They were looking ahead. They got a big game this weekend.
Who was Georgia Tech looking forward to? The bye?
You act like Georgia can just roll out there and go blow somebody out the way they play.
Well, Wake Forest, the team that beat Kennesaw State by 1.
If you want to walk down the Duke Bridge, go for it. Darian Mensah, good luck.
I'll be there this weekend.
I'll take that coach and Haynes King over anything they're doing. Dude.
Okay. All right. Well, I got Georgia Tech getting upset this week. That's my pick.
I'm going to go BYU. Utah beats them.
I like that.
Why didn't you say Auburn?
Well,
you love Auburn.
I'm more confident in Darian Mensah than
Jackson Arnold.
Oh,
Lord.
Duke's favorite too. Yeah, how about you say Auburn? I'm giving you a T-ball hit here.
I am saying Auburn. You crazy? Auburn's not going to win another game this season in my mind.
My gosh.
Golly. I guess you want mine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Beamer beats Mateer and company this weekend. I don't like the way Mateer looked on Saturday. I think, I just think Oklahoma is going to struggle on the road.
Interesting. That'll be what time is that game?
12:45.
Oh gosh, never mind. if that were a night game, that would be really tough. Heading into the season, that should have been a great game. It's terrible that
I mean, Texas got to go to Kentucky at night. We know how Kroger Field can get.
Stop.
Anybody want Stoops? Come on, let's hear it.
Stop.
Big bad rival.
Stop. All right, Jackson, yours. We'll hit the break.
I'm split. I got a matchup I can actually believe in, and that's Notre Dame. I could see them losing to USC, but man, something tells me the Hurricanes are going to go down to Louisville this weekend.
Oh, that's a good one.
A little late night upset.
Friday night, actually.
I like that one. Okay.
So I'm going to stake Miami. Stake it in here.
Only problem I have with that is you've got to watch Miller Moss play quarterback for 3 hours. That is brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Meanwhile, you're watching those guys play last night. Come on now.
Okay, but it's a Tuesday.
Goodness.
It's a Tuesday.
That gives them a pass?
Well, they're playing on Tuesday. It's either you watch that or Jeopardy. I don't know. Back here after the break. Stay right here. It's the Playbook presented by VIP Play.
For the fans, by the fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
For over 3 years, Crumble Cookies has served the Knoxville area. From Clinton Highway to Parkside Drive, even our friends out in Maryville have reached you, our fans, with the best cookies in the game. This fall, Crumble is gearing up for yet another fantastic season. Whether you're tailgating or looking for a pick-me-up after getting the kids from school, Crumble has you covered. Download the Crumble app to check out this week's rewards and features. And stop on by. Tell them Fan Run sent you, but don't miss the cookies.
Vol fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues. Every bet type you can imagine. Live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Hey, Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
Now, here's a little story I got to tell about three bad brothers you know so well. It started way back in history with that Rob and me. My team. But had a little horsey named Paul.
All right, back here on the Playbook presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you listening along with us. Coming up in about 24 minutes, it's The Drive right here on Fan Run Radio. Russell Smith, Bob Baskerville, the Bear, and Walker Smith rounding out your Wednesday. And folks, a reminder about the Fan Run Box giveaway. Folks, we're giving away thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of prizes to guys like you, listeners, people that love Fan Run, because we want to give back to our loyal supporters. And if you are following our social media channels, you can have the opportunity to get free entries for this box that will be given away on Friday, Halloween, October 31st at Calhoun's on the River, right before the Oklahoma game. Come watch us. We'll be there. We'll be there live for that one, and it's going to be such a great time. But again, follow us on Fan Run Sports, on Instagram, Fox Sports Knox on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, whatever it may be. Just get involved with Fan Run Radio. You'll get free entries just for doing so. Keep an eye out for social media posts that give you direct entries into that box giveaway. I promise you, folks, it's going to be worth it. I would get involved on it. I wish I could. I wish I could be a recipient of the box winner. So what's in the box? You'll have to find out. Make sure to keep an eye on the Fan Run Radio social media channels. All right, we'll switch over now for the NFL, but with the Tennessee twist. We have Vols on the NFL draft board. ESPN's Mel Kiper put together his first big board this week, ranking prospects across the country for a top 25 in rankings by position. Across his position rankings, he named 4 Vols as potential picks, and Kiper placed Jermon McCoy, at number 13 overall among prospects across all positions. Naturally, this puts him as the best cornerback in the class, and this is the full write-up he had on McCoy. I know a lot of people are tired of talking about Jermon and whether he's coming back and blah, 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 so I'm just going to read you what he said, and then we'll talk about the other guys. As we all know, Jermon McCoy is very highly regarded. But Kiper says, quote, McCoy hasn't played yet in 2025 after suffering a torn ACL in January, but he still has the chance to be the first cornerback off the board in April. He began his college career at Oregon State, picking off 2 passes there in 2023. McCoy's ball hawking traits really emerged once transferring to Tennessee, as he picked off 4 passes and broke up 9 last season. Even if he doesn't make it back onto the field this season, his on-the-ball production will get day one interest. So that's not great for people that want to see him play, but I do believe that he personally wants to get back onto the field for the Volunteers. But Tennessee may have a pair of cornerbacks drafted as well. First year, Colton Hood, for the first year with the Volunteers, I should say, has been a breakout star in the secondary as a lockdown option without McCoy or Ricky Gibson III. He placed as the number 5 cornerback in the class by Kiper. And we've talked a couple of times. Colton Hood has been mentioned on a lot of mock drafts over the weeks. And I feel like Colton Hood has been one of the biggest surprises of the college football season. Now, obviously, in terms of teams, like Indiana going on the road and beating Oregon was a huge surprise. We saw so many surprises of Clemson and Penn State, top 3, top 4 teams heading into the season, drop completely out and be a disarray. But a guy that might not be getting a lot of talk and, a lot of people outside of Knoxville might not know is Colton Hood. He has been one of the biggest surprises of the college football season. Came over in the transfer portal by way of Colorado, a guy that many people thought was going to be like just a rotational piece or a depth piece for the Volunteers, has now early on in the season proven to be one of the best corners in the country. So I think his story is really, really cool, and he's a humble dude as well. I think he's been one of the most intriguing stories and biggest surprises of the college football season to this point in the year. Garrett, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of a guy that came in late in the spring that a lot of people were unfamiliar with, got limited snaps last season as he was basically Travis Hunter's backup at that corner position. And his limited snaps that he did play at Colorado, he played really good. And I remember watching his film in the spring and not really hearing, too much about him until we got into fall camp and they were raving about how good he looked. And he's been really good this season. I mean, he's one of those guys that you haven't heard much about him in the secondary, and that's usually a good sign. If you don't hear too much about your corners, that means that they're playing pretty lockdown defense and not too many balls are being thrown on top of them. So he's kind of emerged himself as a guy that could be a borderline first-round draft pick, and in some people's eyes could even be a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, Brett, Colton Hood, a big surprise to you this season, one of the biggest of the season in college football?
Yeah, absolutely. He's had to step in for a really good corner. A lot unknown with the guy, transferring twice, and found a home here at Tennessee, and he's played really well. We had a lot of lowlights on this defense right now, and he's one of the highlights. And he's been great. So hopefully it continues. We'll need a big day from him on Saturday.
And then Jackson, what about you? What do you see when you watch Colton Hood?
Yeah, I mean, an absolute stud. Someone that I personally was not expecting to be really a playmaker. I mean, I expected, what's his name? Gibson to be out
Ricky
there.
Gibson, yeah.
I was expecting him to be out there, and I was under the impression McCoy would be back by now. So I thought that if Colton Hood was going to get playing time, it was going to be for the first couple weeks while Jermon McCoy gets right, and then we would see Gibson and McCoy for the rest of the season. Obviously, that's not the case, and Colton Hood has looked extremely. I mean, he's surprised me, exceeded all expectations I had.
Yeah, and you wonder if McCoy and Gibson were both healthy and available. Would we be able to see this from Colton Hood? Yeah,
he wouldn't be on the field.
Yeah,
I mean,
which is a crazy thing.
Yeah.
So,
benefited unfortunately from some injuries.
Yeah, I mean,
made himself a lot of money.
Yeah, he has, most definitely. All right, well, also on defense, outside linebacker Joshua Josephs, and as well as a defensive end, and Josephs is getting some draft buzz. He's considered the number 3 player at the position. This is the same role that Byron Young and James Pierce Jr. played with UT before moving on to the pros. And on offense, it's wide receiver Chris Brazzell. Has begun to get some buzz as one of the top receivers, despite a lack of production on Saturday against Arkansas, facing a number of double teams. He's the number 6 receiver on Kuiper's board to this point, and we might have a room divided here. I wanted to bring this question up. Who has the higher upside? Is it Joshua Josephs or is it Chris Brazzell? And I'm going to go Joshua Josephs here. I think you've already seen what a lot of these Tennessee defensive ends, hybrid linebackers look like. Byron Young was really, really good at Tennessee, and he's been really, really good for the Rams during his time. James Pierce was active in the backfield a couple of weeks ago and has been a strong rookie for the Falcons to this point in the year. I think Josephs is that next guy in line. I think he has a higher ceiling of a guy that can continue to get in the backfield and make plays and do exactly what he's been doing in Knoxville for a couple of seasons now. My thing with Brazzell is I think he's really, really talented, but I think his frame's a little bit skinny, and I wonder if he's just taking advantage off the line of scrimmage against some bad defenders early in the season. I'm interested what he'd look like against NFL DBs. He's got a great quick first step off the line of scrimmage, but does that last against the NFL guys? So I say Joshua Josephs right now, the higher ceiling. For you, Garrett, higher upside, Josephs or Brazzell?
Yeah, I'm going to go Josephs just, off that, kind of edge role where he's had, 13 solo tackles this year, 4 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. Very impressive numbers that he's put up after, losing James Pierce to the draft last year. Brazzell's played very well this year. I mean, obviously one of the most explosive receivers in the country so far. He's kind of fulfilled that role of what Dante Thornton did last season with a lot of long passing plays, and you saw what he did against Georgia doing that. He did get shut down last week and only have 1 reception, but I mean, you would expect him to bounce back. But I just think that someone like Joshua Josephs, that's, a 240-pound edge rusher, has a little bit more probably stability in the NFL and someone that you could see make an impact more quick.
Yeah. Brett, what about you?
Yeah, it's Joseph's. It's just a position of need on all defenses. You can only have so many pass rushers, put them out there to make plays. Jalen Hyatt won a Bolitnikoff here, and he's hardly seen the field. So it's just a different game when you get to the NFL. A lot more physical, things like that. You just wonder if Brazzell can, get to that physicality. I'm going to go Joseph. Just what Garrett said. It's a position of need in the NFL, and he can make an instant impact as a rookie.
All right, Jackson, rounding out higher upside here, Brazzell or Josephs?
I'd have to go Josephs. I mean, he's just he looks like he's built like the kind of NFL edge that just goes on to succeed.
Yeah.
Brazil, he was completely shut down against Arkansas with some double teams. I mean, that your elite NFL wide receivers can fight through double teams.
Sure.
So,
sign of respect.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
it is a sign of respect. But for him to, with those double teams, only have one catch for 5 yards, a little telling, in my opinion.
It's a weak draft, isn't it? Feels like a weak 2026 draft overall.
I would
Maybe
say
it's because
so.
the quarterbacks are terrible. I don't know.
I would
just
say
doesn't seem like
the quarterbacks are limited.
Again, that goes to stars.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. All those Clemson guys have kind of fallen back. We talked
But
about
Peter Woods and TJ Parker, are
they're
still
good.
They're
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
good players.
But again, there's nobody popping. Like, going
I'm pretty high on Mekhi Lemons.
Yeah.
the zesty guy.
Yeah, zesty.
I think Caleb Downs is gonna be good. I mean,
Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs gonna be the top
top
guy.
5 pick.
Caden Proctor.
Now Proctor's
he's
thing
gonna
is
play both sides of the ball. I think.
Proctor's thing is interesting though.
Why is that?
Because Proctor is not on a lot of the mocks I've looked at. They've had him like hovering around that first round. Like they think he's good, but they don't like some of the technique things and how he kind of gets blown up sometimes.
Kuiper's got him 3rd ranked tackle right now.
Kuiper does 3rd ranked
behind Fano and a guy from Miami.
Yeah,
Francis, whatever. his name is.
Magoa. Yeah, Magoa's really good. I like him. I don't know. I've been interested to see the Caden Proctor discourse because he was originally really high, but like a month ago he was I think as the 34th best player.
Like, would you take Branch over Brazil as an NFL team? Like, Branch is 4th on Kuiper's list here as wide receivers go.
Well, I think
the rest of them.
That's
I'm
the
fine
type
with
of
Jacoby Lane.
That's the type of player
Tyson.
That's the type of player that goes to the right situation though will have success.
Feels like a chief.
Chief Lion, Zachariah Branch, Chief or Lion. Now, hell, if he goes to the Titans, I mean, he's out of the league in 3 years. But if he goes to the Chiefs or Lions,
What about the Jags?
Well, we could use him. I'd be fine with him.
Is Ruben Bain draft eligible this year?
Yes.
Yeah,
He
Ruben
is.
Bain will be a top 3 guy, top
I was
5
gonna say,
guy.
I've seen him mocked in the top 4.
He's on the Heisman list right now.
He's a monster.
Incredible.
He doesn't even have to do anything. He just if you just stand in front of him, the guy like Thomas Castellanos a couple weeks ago was trying to run the left side and he was met with Ruben Bain. It was like they paused in a moment.
Miami's got 2 guys in the top 3 here.
Akeem Mazet, well, I guess
Keldrick Fox in between.
Yeah, Keldrick Falk's really good. Is Mazador on there?
Yeah, he's 3rd.
Okay. Yeah.
And then Overton from Bama.
Yeah. They got a good group. All right, when we come back, we'll wrap things up. It's our final thoughts right here on the Playbook presented by VIP Play.
Congratulations. You found sports radio that doesn't suck. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Fan Run is giving away a huge prize package.
That's a big box. What's in there?
You're going to want to find out.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
A winner will be drawn live on Halloween during Fan Run Friday at Calhoun's on the River.
To learn how you can earn entries, make sure you're tuning in daily to Fan Run Radio and following us across all of our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok, and Instagram.
At Knoxville Insurance Group, they understand the challenges many consumers face when searching for insurance coverage. That's why whether it's for you, your family, or your business, they create a coverage plan specifically for your unique needs. Knoxville Insurance Group is an independent firm, which means they aren't beholden to just one insurance company. They search multiple companies acting as your negotiator to find you the best possible policy and price. Start a quote in minutes at KnoxvilleInsuranceGroup.com or call them today at 865-694-9788.
Hey, football fans, this is Stats.
And this is the Sheik. And together we are the Cover Boys. And we cover college football like no one else.
Each week, we preview all the big games in college football. And we may not tell you who's going to win, but we'll tell you who's going to cover.
Our patented right sides are clicking at 66% against the spread all time.
So join us right here every Friday evening at 8 for the Cover Boys on the official voice of Tennessee fans, Fan Run Radio.
And enjoy the winners, everyone.
Have you ever found yourself wishing your clothes looked brand new again? Whether it's your favorite suit, that little black dress, or your comfy winter coat, Crown Cleaners can make it happen. From stubborn stains to delicate fabrics, the expert team at Crown Cleaners uses the latest cleaning technology to ensure your clothes come back looking and feeling fresh. Visit one of their 2 area locations, Kingston Pike on Bearden Hill or South North Shore Drive near Dunkin' Donuts. Online at crowncleaners.com. Crown Cleaners, a tradition of excellence.
Hip, hip. Hip, hip. All right, back here on the Playbook. Final thoughts on this Wednesday. Coming up next here on the Fan Run Radio, it is The Drive. Russell Smith, Bob Baskerville, The Bear, and Walker Smith rounding out your day. So stay right here on Fan Run Radio. So Garrett and I talking during the break. Garrett headed to Tuscaloosa this weekend. Favorite college town that you've been to? I think number one for me is by far Athens. Every time I went to Athens, I had too much fun. And I had a good amount of fun in Alabama. I thought LSU.
Probably not at the games though.
Well, yeah, not at the game, but at least just in terms of like, man, this place is cool.
Yeah.
And also the weather was nice when we went because it was later in the season, so it was a little bit chillier. Like,
did you go twice?
Mm-hmm. I went both times.
I got you.
Oklahoma, when I went last year, it was like 99 degrees, and it was fine. It was what it was. But I've been to all but 12.
All but 12 of them?
Oh yeah, excuse me.
You've been to 12.
I've been to 12 stadiums. I've been to 12 SEC stadiums, and I've been to 13 SEC campuses. I've never seen a game at Auburn, but I've been to Auburn.
Gotcha.
So, but Georgia would be my number one. What would be your number one? The ones you've been to?
I had a lot of fun in Oxford a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Athens is fun. I mean, all my friends from high school go there and stuff. It's just, I feel like it's kind of overwhelming there. They have the most bars per capita of anywhere in the world.
So that's what I'm all for, right? Like you can go to any place. Like you can go to a lot of different places. You don't have to wait in line. You know.
I didn't go there for a game, but when we went out to Omaha a couple of years ago, we stayed in Lincoln, Nebraska. It was like 40 minutes away because you couldn't stay in Omaha for a cheap enough hotel room. That was a really cool college town. They had a really cool downtown strip there.
Interesting.
Now I know Columbus was really cool, but did y'all go there?
I did. I thought Columbus was cool.
Okay.
I thought Columbus was cool.
I liked Columbus. It was pretty cool.
That Friday night was fun.
Yeah.
And you woke up Saturday and you couldn't feel your feet.
Just kind of made it inside.
Yeah. I stayed the whole time too. I was like, this is my last football game as a student. I will be here until the game is over. And I stayed until the game was over. It was brutal. It's like one of those just so cold, like
it was miserable.
You don't even want to move.
I'm sure.
It was miserable in Columbus.
Where's your favorite Jackson?
Yeah.
I haven't been to it.
Yeah.
I didn't go here, so
Yeah.
it's like tough for me to answer this.
Man, like the traditional like college town, I haven't been to a whole lot of those. It's between Bowling Green, Kentucky, and Oxford. I've got quite a few friends that go to WKU.
Okay,
that's always a fun time up there. But I don't know. I mean, I still know Oxford like the back of my hand. Spending 2 school years there, I try to go down twice a semester to see some friends. So I'm gonna have to go with Oxford.
Okay, yeah, Oxford's good. My mom went there. I grew up going to a bunch of games there. I mean, I'd probably go down there 2 or 3 times a football season growing up.
Gainesville
was cool. It's just a culture shock, just in terms of the people.
I got you.
I thought the campus was really cool. Just the people are different than the ones you interact with in normal places.
Normal places.
It's not a normal place down there.
Well, it's just like like they actually have like the good Florida fans and the good venues are really cool. But then like you've got, Jamie from Boston, with his Yankees hat or, Boston Red Sox hat and 5 chains and a fade. I'm like, that's too much for me. All right, that's going to wrap it up for a Wednesday edition of the Playbook presented by VIP Play. We'll be back same time tomorrow, 1 to 3 right here on Fan Run Radio. Coming up next, it's The Drive live on Fan Run Radio.